Hey everyone, it's Ben from Elevate here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about something we see a lot in the clinic. So people come in, they have knee pain, they're not really sure where it's coming from or why they might be feeling that way. And I know myself personally, I do some running, some golf, some baseball sometimes, and I'll go home that night or even the next day and I'll be like, man, my knees are killing me, and I just have no idea what I did. And so we tend to see a lot of that here. But what a lot of people don't know is that the issues may be arising from the hip area. So if we have hip weakness or hip imbalances for whatever reason, they can actually lead to our knees taking more of the load. And so when we're doing things like running, walking, playing golf or baseball, if we don't have the proper strength in the hips, our knees are going to take most of it, and then they're going to start to feel pain. So today's video, we're going to be talking about knee strengthening exercises, but a lot of them are actually going to focus on the hip strength. So let's take a look. So when we're thinking about the hip and the musculature surrounding the hip, the biggest muscle is going to be the glutes, specifically the glute max, but we'll just group the glutes in general for this exercise. So this one is the glute bridge. Basically here, we're hinging at the hips and we're pushing up with our glutes. And the main thing with this one is to make sure that we're squeezing our glutes the entire time, because that is going to be the main driver of the hips. If you're not squeezing your glutes, you might be using more of your hamstrings, maybe some quads, maybe some back, and we want to focus more on the glute area. So the one thing you can do is think about squeezing your butt as hard as you can. So I'll get Edward here, squeeze your butt. Just before you even start, squeeze it together as hard as you can. And then from here, you're going to push your hips through and up, creating that straight line like a bridge, and then you're going to come back down. So that's the main idea with that one. What I want you to focus on here is pushing up at the top, hold it for a second, and then slowly come back down. Keep that squeeze as you're going down the whole time. So we'll do another one here. That's good. Nice. Something else I would say here, you can make this harder by doing a single leg version as well. So if you want to lift one leg in the air, you can now squeeze this side and push through that right side, still creating that straight line, but now it's making it a little bit harder because we're isolating the glute on the one side. So the next one is also going to target the glutes, but this one we're isolating the glute medius. So that's going to be the one on the side here. The importance of the glute medius, while it does hip abduction, which is what this exercise is going to be, it stabilizes our pelvis and our hips so that when we're walking, running, or doing any kind of movement, it prevents us from dropping our hips and pelvis too much, and it stabilizes our entire lower body and core. So we need to make sure that it's strong in order for it to be able to do the things that we're asking it to do. So this exercise is a side lying hip abduction. It's pretty easy to do. You're gonna lay on your side like Edward is here. You're gonna keep your legs nice and straight. So I'm gonna do straighten your legs a little bit more. And then here, you're just gonna lift your top leg up into the air, straight up into the air. So you wanna make sure, you don't need to go that high. You can go to like there, that's good. So come back down. This one again, you wanna make sure you're squeezing your glutes. So squeeze the glutes before, come straight up with that leg here. We're focusing on this glute medius on the side, and you come back down. I want to make sure with this one, your toes are parallel to the ground. You don't want to be opening up your toe like this. You want to make sure that it's straight across, and you come up with it the whole way. So come up again. Nice. Awesome. Same thing here. Slowly on the way down to really control that eccentric stretch of it, and then come up just like this, squeezing the entire time in the glutes. All right, so the next exercise we have here is called the banded terminal knee extension. So we're gonna wrap a band around a pole, and we're gonna put it around the knee, right at the knee joint, so right in that crease there. Basically, the idea with this one is to activate our quad muscles, which go over top of the knee, but then through the rectus femoris muscle, they also cross the hip on the front side. So we need to make sure that muscle and those muscle groups are strong. And so this one is really good with people that maybe have had a recent knee injury, knee surgery, and they're looking to get that quad activation back, as well as getting that full range of motion back. So here, Edward, we're gonna get you to go into a bit of a staggered stance, so bring that left foot backwards. You're gonna let your heel come off the ground, and it's gonna bend your knee like this, and then here you're gonna squeeze your quads to get that knee fully extended. We call it terminal knee extension. So you keep doing that like this, getting that quad activation here, and we're getting the full extension of the knee here. You can keep going. So with the full knee extension, it's important because we need that full extension for walking, running, and just general standing mechanics. When you're standing, you want your knees to be in that full extension, because if they're not in full extension, the joint is now loaded through the musculature, which is going to lead to fatigue, strains. If we have full knee extension, we're now loading through the knee, and we're taking the weight off of the surrounding muscles. Another way we can do this exercise is to go into a bit of a ready position. So we got some knee bend here, and from here, you can just push that one knee back all the way and come back in. So this might be a little bit of a advancement because we're getting into that, ready position, kind of return to sport. But this is a great entry-level exercise for anyone with kind of an acute knee injury that's looking to get that quad activation and that range of motion back. Okay, so this next exercise is called lateral band walks. And so this is a bit of a progression from that side lying hip abduction that we just did earlier. So I'll give you this band to put around your knees. We don't want to have it too far down at the ankles. That might make it a little too difficult. The quads might be a little too easy. The knees are a good position to put the band. So the idea with this one is we're going to be in that ready position here, and we're just going to take steps out to the side with the band. So step over this way, do it nice and slow. Here we're targeting that glute medius that we were talking about earlier, but now we're doing it in a weight-bearing position where we're standing and moving, and we're training our glutes in this functional position. So here you can keep going back and forth. Let's go step out. Squeeze your glutes your whole time as you're doing this. Okay. And so we're building that glute strength during this exercise in that functional pattern so that when we're walking, running, doing any kind of movements in sports maybe, we're able to activate our glutes and glute medius in this position as opposed to just lying on the mat on the side. We can also change this exercise a bit by doing forward and backward movements. So you can take kind of a diagonal step forward and walk kind of forward with it, and then you can also do that backwards. So take a bit of a diagonal step backwards. So we're getting some more function, some more different movement patterns going on here while putting tension on that glute medius. This next exercise is called the Bulgarian split squats. I'm sure some of you have heard it, and I'm sure some of you have dreaded doing it at the gym, sometimes like myself after a long leg day. So to set up for this one, we're gonna get Edward to put his knees against the bench here like this. You're gonna take one step forward, and then with this back leg, you're gonna bring that onto the bench to have it resting up here. Put your foot laces down. You can be on your toes, whatever's comfortable, but this is about how far away you wanna be from the bench. From here, Edward's gonna go down into kind of a lunge squat position. We're loading that one side of his body to really isolate the glutes and the hamstrings and the quads on his left side. And then you're gonna come up. So on the way down, we're gonna do that eccentric loading of it. So come down, glutes are stretching, quads are stretching, and we're getting a good load of everything there. Remember, like before, we need the glutes to be strong to kind of support our hips and our pelvis during everyday movements. We have good quad strength because those cross the hip as well. And so come up. Emma, I'm gonna get you to come over here. One other thing we wanna focus on is Edward's knee drive. So during the lowering phase of the squat, you wanna make sure that knee is staying out and being driven out. I'll get you to demonstrate what the knee cave looks like. So go down, kind of have your knee cave in. Right here is really bad on your knee. Your hips are in, your glutes aren't working, and your knee is in that, suboptimal position that could lead to injury down the road. So we want to train that knee to be driven out, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your quads, and keep that in a nice straight line there. Our final exercise is going to be the Nordic curl. I'm going to demonstrate it today. Edward's got a little bit of a hand injury and I don't want him to be falling on it. So this one, anything like that, just be careful. I'll be demonstrating it. So the Nordic curl, you're going to want a partner. There's some machines that can help you do this, but just something to kind of lock your feet in place. Whatever works best for you with either your home setup or your gym setup. You're going to put your knees on the ground. You can use a pad for added comfort. The idea with this is to keep your upper body straight, and we're kind of falling down and we're tilting down towards the ground. When we do this, we're eccentrically loading those hamstrings, so we're stretching them as we're contracting them, and this is going to build that strength in the hamstrings. And so this is what it looks like. Have your hands ready to go. You're going to fall forward, and then as soon as you can't do it, you let go, catch yourself, and then you push yourself back up like this. And then you're just going to keep going down like that. Here, we can stop here for a second. So with the hamstrings, they kind of wrap around your knees like this. And so when they activate, they pull on your knee to keep your knee in place. They will go hand in hand with the ACL essentially in terms of how it prevents the knee from moving. They also cross the hip joint back here. So if we have proper hamstring strength, it's going to help with both the hip and the knee support. And then this is a great exercise to kind of load that eccentrically. All right, so if you're noticing constant ongoing knee pain throughout everyday life, it could be something that's happening further up the chain at the hips. So try these exercises out and see if they help you.